From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Thursday, July 18, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The government has announced a significant three-phased plan to rebuild and enhance the island's healthcare infrastructure after Hurricane Beryl.
Now, with a major investment and focus on the worst affected areas, the plan aims to restore full functionality to healthcare centers and strengthen resilience. Ramon Gordon has the details.
The Health Ministry is set to roll out a three-phase plan to restore and enhance the island's healthcare infrastructure. The project will span several years, with Phase 1 slated for completion within the current financial year. The cost, at least $1.7 billion.
The first phase involves activities that will bring the facilities back into full operation within 6 months. So the first phase is to restart. The second phase is to restore, and that will address repairs to parts of the buildings that have been damaged, but which do not affect operations, and is to be implemented within 6 to 12 months.
Phase 2 will require over $2 billion, while Phase 3 will focus on building resilience.
So restart, restore, and to make resilient. We'll see activities that will make the facilities resilient to natural disasters like hurricanes and meet the business continuity standards that is required.
Currently, 23 of the 26 hospitals nationwide are back to normal operations. However, at least 3 still require extensive repairs post-Beryl.
The remaining 3, Black River, Noel Homes, and Falmouth General, are still operating in emergency mode.
At Black River, there are issues with water, electricity that does not allow us to have full operation.
And we're taking all the necessary action to get those back up as quickly as possible.
76% of the total cost for rehabilitating the healthcare system will be allocated to hard-hit parishes, including Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and some western parishes.
Approximately 82 or 23% of all health facilities sustained major damage. Now, this is following the last 2 weeks of assessment, and we believe that what we have now reflects a much more accurate depiction as to what has transpired post-Beryl.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
And following on the government's announcement, the opposition and residents in Clarendon are pressing for quicker action as they battle a mosquito surge, with some communities still without electricity. Ramon Gordon continues.
The government has outlined extensive recovery efforts post-Beryl, being transparent about possible limitations while also urging patience. The opposition leader and other stakeholders are, however, expressing displeasure, issuing a renewed call for alacrity in southwest Clarendon.
We are at Farka Beach. The fishermen have been very hard hit. Some have lost many fish pots out at sea. There's no electricity down here. Nobody from the government has come down here other than, I believe, a social worker. But right now they need a helping hand.
Business owners in the Clarendon community are also unsettled. Keisha manages Bongo's seafood restaurant.
Not even one water truck, they not even send down here to give people them little water. Yesterday me hear say water, one little bit of water coming in the line. And by the time if we go there, no water. Yeah, so my woman they now no man live with that, them have to go catch water for them.
Mosquitoes have also become a community concern.
Right now me have one stove in a shop. Put wood in it and I try to run the mosquito for the people.
Everybody have to have them.
Yeah, man,
if you don't have one of this, you
can't walk on the road.
You can't walk on the road if you don't have. Morning and evening you have to light them.
Residents say the flying fiends have also invaded neighboring communities.
Whole of milk club and mosquito go draw away. See them are run things. So destroyer can't help them.
Also, I buy over 12 pack of destroyer already. Whole heap of destroyer to try to do, but that not help. See way me have to walk and I look see it see way.
At a media briefing early Thursday, the Health Ministry revealed plans to ramp up vector control measures over the next several weeks. But until then, at least one councillor wants in on recovery funding.
We, the councillors, not only the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, but across the other 13 MCs, municipal corporations, to date have not received any special allocation from the Ministry of Local Government. Councillors, likewise the MPs, also have a responsibility to the people of their respective division. So I'm calling on the Honourable Minister Desmond Mackenzie to make available funds to councillors to respond to the needs of the people.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Meanwhile, the Health Ministry says Jamaicans must be on alert if another dengue outbreak is to be prevented. Trisha Gay Kelly has the details.
The number of dengue cases is expected to increase given recent heavy rainfall, this following Hurricane Beryl and the anticipation of the rainy season. But the Ministry of Health and Wellness, in its bid to bring awareness to the nation, held a media briefing on Thursday to highlight the seriousness of such a matter. Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says Jamaicans should take advantage of this update.
There will be a significant and sustained increase in the local mosquito population, both the vector and the nuisance population. The vector, of course, is the one that carries the virus, dengue. Could carry other viruses, but that's the one that we are accustomed to, dengue, and that's the Aedes aegypti. And then the nuisance population are those that will be a nuisance.
These mosquitoes, as the label suggests, are the ones that irritate the population. Currently, there are approximately 74 species of mosquitoes in Jamaica, and the ministry recently discovered an additional 2. However, the experts explain this is expected. National Program Manager of the Vector Control Division within the ministry, Shireen Huntley-Jones, says climate change also plays a role in developing the insects.
But in the summer months, we're seeing the mosquitoes go from eggs to adults in 5 days. And so what that means is that we're having more mosquitoes over a shorter period of time. Now, with rainfall added to that variability, so you're having more mosquitoes a shorter period of time, more breeding sites. So you're having more mosquitoes breeding in more breeding sites over a shorter period of time. And that, of course, will increase the risk.
The ministry is hoping to reduce this risk by implementing protective and preventative measures. This includes visiting communities to treat common water storage areas in homes. The minister is urging citizens to cooperate.
We have in the past had issues with persons going into homes and doing inspections where they have met with some resistance, sometimes aggression, sometimes even violence. I am hoping and encouraging that this doesn't take place. None of this will create any health issue. It will actually prevent a health crisis.
And if citizens are not convinced that the inspectors are indeed from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Minister Tufton is urging them to request identification. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Now, with recommendations for the doors of some shelters to be closed in Clarendon, discussions are advanced to expedite post-Beryl rebuilding exercise. And with support growing for those in need, donors are being urged to prevent complication by utilizing the established channels. The Labour and Social Security Minister, who is also a Member of Parliament, says the valiant contribution of volunteers, the silent heroes, in the response and recovery efforts underway in Clarendon is not unnoticed. However, during the phase where Team Jamaica is known to join hands, there's a gentle reminder.
When you're assisting, try to come through the established channels. So we know that the NWC and the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, they're trucking water to areas. We cannot verify the other persons who are assisting with trucking water if those water meet the specification. There are also persons distributing food packages. It is very important for those persons to also report to us and to the Ministry of Labour, because what we want to prevent is duplication. So there are many families who will be getting 4 and 5 times, while some of the needy persons will not be getting. So all efforts must be coordinated through the established channels.
The corporation's chief executive officer wants some of the shelters in Clarendon to be closed. He has asked Minister Pernell Charles Jr. through his ministry to speed up its evaluation process so the team can be guided in assisting with repairing and the supplying of material. Well, that could literally be like jumping into the proverbial fire. That's why the corporation's Planning and Development Committee is adamant its technical officers must be allowed to play a greater role in the rebuilding process.
We have looked at some of the houses in the southern belts, and we realize that most of them built their floor level at ground. And we will be ensuring through that enforcement unit that persons raise their floor level to ensure that they are more resilient to flooding.
Importantly, the team wants to see all critical areas properly covered.
Most of the roofs that we have seen also were not equipped with hurricane straps. So we want to ensure that the rebuilding process is in a better way so persons will be more resilient.
More CVM News at 7 to come after this break.
Sure we can. I never see a boil up patty like you.
Hey son, you good?
No, that I'm starving. Can we get some juicy patties?
Celebrating over 40 years of everyday moments.
I am death.
You know what? Never change.
Ward off death. Obey the road code. A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday, brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy. Welcome back. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the strategic approach to dismantling crime and gangs in Negril is working. He says gangs in the area will be brought to justice.
Security is about everyone, and some of our citizens don't feel safe, and that is because of the entrenchment of gangs in this part of the island. The police has taken a strategic approach to dealing with the gangs. We have used the anti-gang legislation, and all of the gangs, I'll be very frank with you, every gang, our intelligence entities are at work. Particularly for Negril, you have a very active nightlife, and so wherever there is a very active nightlife, you want to have more police presence. I know our guests are safe because when I come to Negril, I see more than any other town, except maybe for Port Antonio, but even more than Port Antonio, I see our guests integrated. That's the best word to use. Integrated into the mix of things in Negril, and it tells you this is a tourist town.
And still in Westmoreland, weeks later, residents are livid that they're still without electricity. Adrian Williams has more on their protest.
Residents of Silver Spring and Sheffield in Westmoreland are upset that the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, has not returned power to their area.
We not see more than in our home starting. We have to shoot the foot through the window to get a little breeze by the way. He's a kill me. Mosquito, they come down, everything about all right.
We want light at Silver Spring. We want light at Sheffield. We want light.
Councillor for the Sheffield Division, Garfield James, is urging the residents to be patient just a while longer, assuring that work is expected to begin this week.
While I understand the fact that there's no electricity and we need it, the reality is that the JPS team is grossly understaffed. But despite that, I met with the manager this morning and I've got the assurance that tomorrow morning the team will be in this space to ensure that restoration takes place.
One protester says she has not seen the Member of Parliament since the hurricane, and while they are supportive of the Jamaica Labour Party, the continued darkness has forced them onto the streets in protest.
We don't see the sun wall and it's in a darkness. Yes. From storm until now. Yeah. And nothing wrong with our light force. Yes. So please, we need light. Yes. We the Labour right who block the road. Need light and we're going to block it again. Because we want light.
Yeah, my light.
And if we don't get light, we're going to block it again.
MP for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, says he's with the residents and is urging JPS to work harder in restoring light to the communities.
I am also frustrated. I stand with the people. For the past 4 or 5 days, we have been communicating with JPS to give us a timeline as to when electricity will be restored in the constituency, and they have been unable to tell us when they will restore electricity.
Wilson also fears the absence of electricity will cause more harm than good.
Persons have left lit candles for lighting, and it has resulted in the total destruction of your homes. One of these homes is in Negril and one is in Grangel. We do not want this to continue. We do not want to see further destruction within our communities. So we are asking JPS, we are demanding of JPS to come out and restore the energy in our community.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
This news story now, another glass ceiling was shattered Thursday when the Court of Appeal named its first woman president. The Governor-General appointed Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop to the post. She succeeds Justice Patrick Brooks. Here's more from Courtney Lewis.
The Court of Appeal has now welcomed its first woman president. In a historic swearing-in ceremony held early Thursday, Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop was appointed head of the Appeals Court by Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen. Her appointment was supported by Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
Her journey from a prosecutor in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to her appointment to the Supreme Court bench and subsequently to the Appeals Court in 2014 are among the highlights of her outstanding career. Justice MacDonald Bishop, I am confident that under your leadership, the Court of Appeal will continue to uphold the highest standards of judicial excellence.
His sentiments were echoed by opposition leader Mark Golding, who lauded the ongoing transformation of the justice system.
I am confident that under your leadership, that progress will continue so that the erudition and quality of your judicial adjudication will be matched by the continued efforts to improve the efficiency of the system so that it serves the economy and the people of Jamaica as well as it possibly can.
Speaking at the ceremony, the new justice commended her predecessor, Sir Patrick Brooks, who demitted office on Wednesday, and thanked her support team while outlining her plans for the role.
I intend to collaborate with the executive so that the judiciary, the third arm of government, can take its rightful place in the governance of this country.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Please join us for the business segment right after this.
Hawaiian, chicken chunks, vegetarian. There's no pressure to choose with Pizza Hut's amazing 4. You get 4 juicy flavors with one less choice to make. Pizza Hut, now that's delivery.
So in true corner office style, we are out and we're on the road today. We are literally on the road, in the streets.
I'm Shanifer. I'm doing smoothies.
But where do you find time to run the smoothie business, the online business, the clothes business? Where do you find the time and what drives you?
I like dirty work. If I wasn't a shoemaker, I would be a mechanic. It seemed like I was the only female shoemaker in Jamaica.
I've been trimming with him for more than 2 years. I am satisfied every time I trim.
So you're risking your life now in this corner office to save the lives of our children. Yes. And that for me is a bigger deal.
Rainforest, I go give you plenty healthy ways to switch up your meals. Fresh flavor, that's what me need. A new recipe every day of the week. And look how good me feel. Come catch the vibe. Rainforest, catch the seafood vibe.
See it? Want it? Get it! At Coors, with up to 30% off furniture and electronics. Get a free soundbar with the purchase of a 75-inch TCL Smart TV. Purchase a Blair Lounge set on credit and get a free Samsung Smart TV. Enjoy the games with Smart TVs starting at $22,999, lounge pieces starting at $25,499, and Apple iPhones starting at $79,999. Shop now, pay later. Get ready for the games with Coors. Bringing value home. Offers end July 31. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. We now go to the business report with Andrew Laidley.
Imagine owning a part of a company which rakes in more than $1 billion in revenue annually. That's the value proposition being made by Ari Williams CEO Audley Reed. He says management was keen on ensuring that ordinary Jamaicans can afford a piece of the pie.
We wanted to make these shares accessible to all. And the best way to do that was to set it at a price that would allow the ordinary person who is interested in joining us on this mission of delivering quality and affordable pharmaceuticals to all. We wanted to give them the opportunity to be able to invest. So if it is $1,000 you have, you can open an investment portfolio and participate in this offer.
The IPO is scheduled to close on July 31, after which Ari Williams will apply for the shares to be listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. As for how the proceeds of the IPO will be used,
if they're successful in the raise, and we expect that they will be, the company will raise 400 million Jamaican dollars. And Suzette would have spoken about the financial state of the company. The company